Hi, I'm Becca.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And this is
Life in Quarters.
Now that the weather has gotten super nice and super consistently warm, I've decided that since I now live close to the beach, I am going to make an effort to go to the beach, because previously it's never been conveniently placed, and I always kind of felt like the beach was almost an overwhelming experience, because we'd go at like 7 a.m. and then stay till 3, and it was like a huge time energy commitment. You know, you bring a bunch of activities to do, and I don't know. It just never seemed like, I just never understood why anyone was like, oh, I have to live close to the beach. I love the beach. The beach is amazing. But now that it's about 15 minutes away, 30 minutes if we go to the dog park, I was talking to my husband and I was like, hey, you know what? We're not going to have this opportunity forever. We might as well take advantage of it. So for the past 3 weekends, we have gone to the beach for like 3 hours at a time. So it's like a perfect late morning, early afternoon activity. We bring our dog. I've been having the most fabulous time. I don't bring any activities to do. I literally just lay in my Tommy Bahamas chair that I got from Costco. And while Emma was visiting, we went to Costco because Emma came down to my apartment and she stayed a couple of nights. And we went to Costco and I got a second Tommy Bahamas chair for my husband because I got mine last year. Even though I went to the beach, I think a total of twice. But I got him a Tommy Bahamas chair, and we both just sat down. We put down a towel for our dog in the middle. We draped another towel over because she loves to have a place to cower. She's not super social, so she needs like a safe place to be, you know, where she can just be like, and now I'm gonna be my own doggy self. Just have a moment with my own mind and my own fears. But she likes to go in the water. She likes to play around in the shallow end because she is a teeny weeny dog.
Small.
And I've just really weirdly, like, I get it. I feel like this last time we went to the beach, I was just laying there in the sun. I was soaking it up. I was listening to the waves, and I was like, this is what it's all about. Holy moly. I feel so rejuvenated.
Yeah.
And like the whole entire experience too. One, it's not, again, an all-day commitment. Two, you know what I get to do when I come home after going to the beach? I get to shower.
Oh, slay.
Oh, I get to shower. And it's like one of those showers too, where like when you've been in the sun, and of course wear sunscreen, set up a little, what's it called? A umbrella, lay down, have a good life, go home, shower, be reborn, have the rest of your day. It's like, oh my gosh, it's the best feeling ever. And, you know, again, when you were visiting, you pointed out, I was like, why are showers just so amazing? I like love a good shower. You pointed out that showers are a super grounding experience. Like they're so grounding. And when I was taking a shower this past weekend, I went, that is exactly right. That is 100% correct. I was like, I think showers are the most accessible way to ground. And so then I was thinking, like, what are some other ways you can just like incorporate low-hanging fruit grounding activities in the day-to-day? Because I feel like my focus recently has been so heavily on what's it called, like healing burnout, but also avoiding burnout if possible. And grounding experiences are rejuvenating, and I think an essential piece of that puzzle. I think we need to have very easily accessible ways to ground throughout the week in order to stave off burnout.
Yes, I agree completely. And it's funny too with the beach of it all is that like because of my job I end up going to the beach more often too with the kids, and it was such an overwhelming thing for me too as a child because it was such an all day activity, and it is such a like lovely, like it's a lovely alternative to the park if it's close enough to do that. Like it is so grounding. And I think too what's fun about it is it's because it's grounding because of the sounds, it's grounding because of the difference in like air texture, it's grounding because of the sand, and like that's also why like showers are grounding because you're getting a different physical experience. And so like it's this moment of like having this physical change while you can have the emotional change. And I think like I would agree completely is like finding the little ways, like especially like if the beach isn't accessible to you, because like of course we're so lucky we live in California, but like one of my friends has been doing like a daily walk. Like they did it for May. Like they're a part of like a group in our local area where they're like doing a daily walk and just going outside. And I think it's really like figuring out what sensations are really grounding for you. Because I think like for everybody, going outside is grounding for the most part. And it just depends on like what kind of activity you want to do while you do that. Also, if you hear flapping in the background, if you're just listening to audio, it's because I have my fan on, and if you see the papers behind me flapping because you're watching video, our air conditioning just died, and it's 92 degrees outside, and so I fear it will have to be a problem this episode, but I apologize.
Such is life.
Yeah. But yeah, what are your favorite grounding activities that you're discovering as you're kind of doing this?
So I feel like taking walks is a grounding activity that a lot of people suggest, but I feel like it doesn't do anything for me. Like not all the time. I feel like there are special situations where I go for a walk and I go, yes, this is exactly what I needed. But that is so rare. Most of the times I go for a walk, specifically like, I don't know, if I'm at the office and I decide to just go for a walk outside to, I don't know, get a different scenery, that doesn't necessarily help me. I do have evening walks with my husband where we walk our dog Lucy and we get to like see the ducks in the water, and like that's more grounding, I would say, especially since I leave my phone at home during that. But something else that is easily accessible for me is what you mentioned before, going to the park, putting down a blanket or laying in, again, my Tommy Bahamas chair. Those chairs are getting so much use this summer.
They are.
But like laying in the chair, leaning back, looking at the sky, watching the clouds. And one of my favorite scenes is like looking at the tree branches, just like overhead. Oh my gosh.
That's the best.
I love it. It's beautiful. But something else too, I looked it up because I was like, what are some other ways to ground that's really accessible? Is getting like a bowl, like a big basin type bowl, filling it with like warm water and then putting your feet in is grounding.
It's the difference in environment. It's a sensory thing for your body. I think so much of it is probably tied to our animal instincts. And I'm so sorry to like cut you off. But I think so much of it is tied to like whether or not we feel like we're in danger. Because a lot of the time, if like you're having a panic attack, you want to do something that's going to like interact with your vagus nerve. And if you're having a panic attack, pro tip, eating food or drinking water a lot of the time really, really help alleviate those symptoms, because your body in moments of stress, in small moments of stress, like normal life, or big moments of stress, like a panic attack, is just kind of worried that a tiger is chasing you, is going to eat you and kill you. And so your body really, really smartly is like, if my feet are in a warm bowl of water, there's probably not a tiger chasing me. And so it's a good way to be like, this is the present moment that I am currently living in. Or like, if I'm eating food, I'm probably not getting actively chased by like a tiger. And so those like little things, like the difference in temperature, the difference in movement, those are all really grounding.
I was going to say something else that I find grounding that I can do at the office, because I think that my at-home grounding options and my in-office grounding options, very different.
Yeah.
Is we have what's called wellness rooms. So you can go if you're having like if you have a headache, or like you need a moment, or just like some privacy or some way to give yourself a moment to decompress, you can go into a wellness room, and there's like a couch and a weighted blanket and like a little fan and a couple of other things in there. But something that I've done off and on over the past couple of years is I will like put on some fun music from my teen years and just like have a little dance party. And that is so grounding. It like wakes me up. It is like a little reset button. And I think it makes a lot of sense what you said, because like, I don't know, it's just a way to blow off some steam and be like, get your heart rate up, maybe like get it a little bit warm, and then just be like, oh, okay. Now I can get on with my day.
Yes. For me, similarly, grounding is all about like being in the present moment. So I too will like do those dance parties and stuff. And it's the way that like I can remind my brain that like I am safe and I am here. Because when I used to work at the movie theater, because I worked at a movie theater for like 7 years, on my break, I would go and I would meditate. And I've got this meditation that I've been doing for almost a full decade now, where like I go in and I check in with every single part of my body. And like I breathe deeply into, and you learn a lot of these in acting school too, where you're like, you're gonna breathe into your toes and your feet and your legs and all the way up to like the top of your head, and through your face. And like, it's just checking in with all of those. And then like, I'll do affirmations to also ground. And then like other grounding things for me are singing. Like I love like when I'm singing a song, it's so much about breath control. So like I am like really like focused in that moment. I can't be in the future. I can't be in the past. Or reading too before bed. Like anything that forces me to slow down is so, it's not even just slowing down, it's really being in the moment. Because like for me, cardio is the most immediately grounding thing I can do across the board. And it's because like I have that 30 minutes set aside to like really like run at my problems, run at whatever is stressing me out. And I also do that meditation at the same time. That's why cardio is such a grounding experience for me. Because when I was visiting Becca just recently, I was so anxious, like desperately anxious. It was just like that time in my cycle, and I'd had too much caffeine. It was all like a confluence of the worst things. And the running was the thing that definitely like made me feel the most grounded, because like I felt really out of body, like floating like 3 feet off the ground the whole time, and felt like I just like wasn't in control. And then like once I went to run, I was like, I'm here in this moment, and this is all that matters right this moment. Like it's just existing in connecting back to my body. And then her apartment's awesome. It's got these little quiet rooms, kind of like your wellness rooms is what I was thinking of. And so I was able to, after I worked out, go into one of the quiet rooms and journal, which is also, again, everything that I do for grounding is just like bringing me back into the present moment. I wonder if that's like, in essence, what grounding is being like, look at the world around you right now and how you feel right this second.
I think so, because always forget that like journaling serves a purpose other outside of just like writing things down, because I've been journaling my whole entire life, that I'm like, oh yeah, this is an intentional thing that can be done to do other things. I'm like, yeah, you just write stuff. You write it down whenever you can. But that was a great point with the mentioning journaling, and our focus rooms are fabulous.
I loved it.
But I think that's partially why I've been in a headspace of, oh, you know what? I think I really enjoy my life. It's because I think for a lot of the time I typically look to the future a lot because of personal finance. Like personal finance is all about setting up the dominoes now so that they fall correctly for like future you, so that you can set future you up for success. It's a lot of planning and a lot of intentional decisions to help future you out. Mm-hmm. And so I think that it's just really easy for me to live in the future of, in X amount of weeks or in X amount of months or in X amount of years, I'll have this much saved, I'll have this much to invest, I'll have all these things related to the future and time passing. And so it's hard for me to be in the present and just be like, oh, and what a beautiful beach this is. Yeah. Like, oh, what a beautiful walk this is. How lovely is the sky? Feel that breeze on your face. Like it is so difficult for me to stop and smell a rose. And I think that grounding and implementing these little grounding activities throughout the week, on the weekends, has made me appreciate my lifestyle so much more recently. And it really does come back to the like, grounding is promoting mindfulness. Mm-hmm. It's promoting being present. And that's what they always say, like, oh, if you feel ungrateful or if you feel unhappy or whatever, like, go back into your body, take a moment, like, look around you, appreciate where you're at now. And that is, it's so hard to achieve, like, especially consistently. Ugh.
No, I agree, because I also think I really got into grounding like post acting school. Like, of course, there's the grounding before you get on stage, because I think so much of acting is a very, very grounding experience also, which is why you have to like do those meditations beforehand and make sure your feet are like firmly sunk into the ground, because you're living in that present moment. And like, that's what acting is. You have to be living in that imaginary present moment with other people. Otherwise, you're not going to be reacting to the imaginary circumstances. And so that's always been a little bit easier for me than even doing it in real life. But then I read The Artist Way, and I had to go on those artist dates, and I had to like do the journaling and the reading, and everything got like so much more intentional. It also put like the precedent to do hobbies, because like it's what brought me into gardening as well. And I think gardening is such a grounding experience. Your hands are literally in the ground, and I do like, and that's such a slow moving thing where you're like, I trust that you are moving at the speed that you're supposed to be moving at. And like, it can like really mirror back at you. Or like when I would go on my artist dates, I remember going to like the aquarium, and I loved it so much because I not only got to just like live in the moment and be like, la di da di da, this is amazing. Like going to the beach by myself and going to the aquarium by myself, I got to really like be honest and be like, oh, I don't know if I love going to the beach for a long period by myself, but like I liked these aspects of it. Like it was also like, because it was so grounding, I was able to take like the pretense and the expectation off of it too. Because at the aquarium, oh my God, it was a hellscape. All the kids were there. It was an echo chamber. I had my noise canceling headphones on and I was still deeply overwhelmed. And I was like, you know what? This is the real experience I'm having right now. And I feel confident and grounded enough to know that like this doesn't have to be perfect, but let's go see what we can do to make it feel better. And then I went to the outside touch tanks and I got like a SpongeBob popsicle, which, fun fact, are vegan, which is crazy because I did not know that. But I got like a little like Martinelli's apple juice and like a SpongeBob pop, and I sat outside and I was like, wow, like this is lovely. And then I got to go like pet the sharks, and I was like, this is exactly like the fun grounding experience I needed. Because I also often realize when I'm thinking about the toddlers that I work with that they have like so much figured out in the way that like if we treated ourselves like we treat like toddlers or kids that we love, we'd be so much happier because we build in these grounding experiences for them. Like in on the weekends after school, we're like, let's go make sure we're doing a fun activity. Let's like take them to like see animals. Let's take them to a splash pad. Like let's do these things where they feel enriched and in the present moment. And I think like those are what my artist dates were, like making ways for me to feel enriched and in the present moment, or like going to the beach every week, like giving yourself these things that I think in a lot of ways, a lot of us adults think are frivolous, but like they're so key to us, like finding beauty and joy in the world is feeling grounded in it right now.
You know, I think that's part of what makes going on a trip really like exceptional
Yeah.
is if you're able to go on that trip, especially if you're in a new country, and to be grounded in that experience. Like I think about when we did our girls trip and we were in Paris and we were walking through the gardens
Yeah.
outside of the Louvre. And we were just like walking around, looking at some ducks. We got a pastry. We sat down and we just like looked around.
That was the
and
best.
ate our little croissant. It was so lovely.
That was the best.
It was idyllic. It was one of those things that made me go, yeah, you know what? I would want to come back to Paris.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because that was the second time I went to Paris, and the first time I went to Paris, I really was the angriest person alive.
Paris was
But
your
that
biggest
second
op.
time. Oh my gosh, Paris was my op. I was Paris's biggest hater, and now I'm like, yeah, I would like to go back. No, I really enjoyed that. Turns out, again, going on a girls trip with my best friend, my sister-in-law, versus going on a trip with my brother and his best friend. Wow, starkly different experiences.
Because you were like the grown up in that situation too. Like you were very much like the in charge person when it was your brother and his best friend. But like with us, it was like a bunch
Pretty
of
much.
grown ups that got to go together.
It was so nice.
I'm thinking grounding experiences though too. When we were in Scotland, me climbing that mountain. Oh my God, Arthur's Seat. I was like so desperate. I, for whatever reason, felt really ungrounded that day. And the second something pops into my head, especially when it's in regards to exercise, that my body's like, that would be so grounding. I'm like, I must do that right now. I was like, we're climbing this. And then everyone else was like, I don't really want to climb it. I was like, I'm gonna climb this.
You were like,
thing.
I'm gonna climb Arthur's Seat, and I was like, the hill we're on now, I will roll down this hill. I was deathly ill though when we were there.
You were so sick, and everybody was tired. It was like
was
the final
so sick.
leg of Scotland. We'd walked a lot. But I think it's also like, think about kids on jungle gyms. Like you're using like your whole body to move through things. And like when we went to the beach for my birthday, also like me climbing on those rocks to get places. And it's like, you're really interacting with the world in a different way when you're doing something grounding and you're being mindful about it. Because I think about climbing Arthur's Seat. It's not a terribly high mountain. I mean, I did it in a dress and like not the right shoes. It was fine. But I really like was like using like my whole body to like move me through the world at that time and getting to experience different textures and different sights. And like, it was impossible to not be in the present moment. And I think like, yeah, for me, grounding experiences are very much being in the present moment, I think, is what I'm realizing.
I just think those two women who we sat in what the bag making. It was like what was it called? Islanders.
Yes.
We went to an Islanders workshop where you make your own bags, and two of the women who were like sharing our table, because there were four of us,
Yes.
and it was like tables of six, so there was two random people at our table. They were talking about Arthur's Seat, and they were like, "Oh, super easy hike. Like, you think it's gonna be bad, but it's not bad." And I'll tell you what, I looked it up. That looked kind of bad. They were like, "Oh yeah, it's really windy. The wind is tough, but other than that, like, not bad at all."
It wouldn't have been bad. I missed the whole point. I didn't get to Arthur's Seat. I got to the summit of that mountain. I missed it. I took the wrong path. Because, like, you're supposed to get to, like, a butte, like a plateau, because it's really pretty. Like, if you can look up a picture of Arthur's Seat right now, you'll see what I'm saying. I didn't climb to the grassy part. I climbed to the top of that mountain by accident. Like, I looked down and I was like, oh, there's the grassy part. I don't know how you get there from the path I was on. I don't know if it was possible. And I started on the normal trail. So I think it probably is a pretty light climb, but I didn't do that one.
I'm gonna share a hot take right now. Is I think something else that was grounding on that trip was me going around with my sister-in-law and shopping at all the little souvenir shops that were selling exactly the same thing, and just walking around, literally spending all day looking at stuff in stores. Like, I don't know, like, we were just so in the moment.
Yes.
Like, I felt alive. And you know what? I'm a shopaholic. I absolutely love spending money. That's why personal finance has to be one of my special interests. And I actually didn't buy a lot. I think the one thing I wish I didn't buy was actually the Islanders bag.
I kind of
because
feeling the same way.
I have no use for it.
I know, it's really cute, but I never use it.
Zero use for that bag. I was like, you don't fit a laptop. You don't even fit my iPad. Like, nothing fits in you. What am I doing? What is this? What is this use for this? I don't know. Nothing, it seems like. But, like, that's the one thing I bought that I was like, nah. It was a fun experience. It was so cute to do, but I really did not need to. I didn't need that. And you know, if I could go back in time, I would get the same bag that your sister got, because that would fit a laptop.
She was smart for that.
And it would be more useful. She was thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do that.
And I also don't think it's that hot of a take to say the shopping was a very grounding experience, because, again, I think because we think it's a little frivolous sometimes to do grounding things, it's the novelty also. I think, like, because they were all the same, you could live in the moment, because it was like such a novel experience where you're like, this is so funny. Because I think it is really parallel to when I went on, like, the same day with my sister to the botanical gardens. Like, I'm looking at a bunch of trees, like, I'm running from tree to tree. That's virtually the same kind of concept as going from, like, souvenir to souvenir shop with the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at a different tree. But, like, that was so grounding, because, like, you're just like, wow, this opportunity to just have fun in this moment, because there is no, like, preconceived notion of what this is supposed to be, I think, is how I feel about the shopping, too.
Best purchase of that trip, though, was the scarf.
Oh, you were so cold.
Me and Jess got those scarves. I bring that scarf with me. What is it made of? It's made of, like, not cashmere. Is it
It's
cashmere?
soft.
No.
It might be cashmere.
Wool?
Soft. No, wool's itchy.
Yeah, wool is itchy. I don't know. I don't know. But it's the perfect, like, it's a scarf, but it's also big enough to be like a shawl, I would say. Because I bring it on every flight I go on now. And it was just like, oh, such an A+ purchase. And it was so fun to, like, go around the shops and look at all the different designs that they had and the different color schemes. And that whole experience had such fabulously grounding moments, like exploring Edinburgh Castle, standing in the wind and taking photos. Like, that was just, it was so wonderful. And I think that future trips I go on, I'm going to really, I think I've gotten better at being grounded in the trips, because I feel like when you first start traveling, you're so focused on the next thing and then the next thing and then the next thing, and just, like, getting the itinerary done, that you forget to actually enjoy the trip. And I think this girls' trip was the first time that I was able to just enjoy where we were, like, being with the people that I was with.
Yeah, I agree. No, I also wanted to say my favorite purchase from the trip, because I've been thinking about it. That's such a fun question. Sorry. I think it has to, and I'm so upset. This is the first episode in ages, and I almost put my necklace back on, but my neck, I'm having, like, an allergic reaction. Is my witch's knot, because I got this like beautiful, and if you look at any other episode we've done recently with camera, I've got my witches knot on, and that
Isn't
one,
it like this?
I'll go grab it. Give me 1 second. Stay right there. This is my witch's knot. It was right next to me the whole time. I'm sure we jumped ahead so that was a cleaner cut. But I should have known it was going to be one of my favorite purchases too, because it was like a little pricier. It was like a $45 purchase, and we'd been buying charms, and like I'm not a super big charm necklace kind of person either. And so I think like even me being like, I don't know, I kind of want this, and I haven't really gotten anything yet, and like having that debate, like I should have known that like it was going to be so special to me. And then I also got a loose leaf tea at the Botanical Gardens in Scotland that I loved, and it was so good. And they like harvest all of the flowers and all of the herbs from like their actual gardens and stuff. And I think you can buy them online too, but I haven't had a chance to yet. But those are my 2 favorite purchases from Scotland.
All right, I think it's time for our shameless plugs.
Yay! You can find me on Instagram at I am Emma Bruno 2. That's TOO, and on TikTok at I am Emma Bruno.
You can find me on TikTok and YouTube at Rebecca.Sowden, and you can find me on Instagram at r.sowden.money. You can also find me on Substack under The Life Ledger.
You can find our podcast on Instagram at Life in Quarters Pod.
And you can listen to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. For example, where you're listening to this podcast right now.
Or watching it.
YouTube.